Hi, Sai. Hiromi Yaibin. I'm Hiromi, they, them. I'm the creative lead for Scion, writer and developer for many Scion titles and loads of other games. This is the Scion Showcase, where a bunch of writers and developers finally get to play the game that we talk a lot about and cause chaos for each other in the process because we are fucking gremlins. We're coming to you from the Snohomish lands. I'll put a link in the donation page for the Snohomish tribe. The Scion God Backer Cat campaign had better not still be running when you see this. But you can still probably back it after the fact. Let's meet our players. David, who are you? Who are you playing? And what do they think about Seattle so far?
I'm David Castro, they, them. I am playing Damien De La Cruz, and Damien definitely thinks that Seattle is cool, but not as cool as home. Because that is the thought of every New Yorker when they go to a new city, is how does this measure up, and it doesn't.
That checks out. Michaela, who are you? Who are you playing? And are they a native to Seattle or are they a transplant like most people in Seattle at this point?
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Michele Mazola. I'm an Onyx Path freelancer from Italy. I work for Chronicles of Darkness, World of Darkness, for Scion, for Trinity, and I'm a writer and developer for the They Came From the Line. I'm playing Elena Torres Rappaccini, a Scion of Venice. And my idea is that Elena, probably they are native to the Pacific Northwest, but not to Seattle itself. So somewhere in there.
Neat.
Somewhere where this Dale Cooper Funko Pop will find himself at all.
So, like 45 to an hour east of here.
Yeah, probably in the St. Helens zone or a bit up north, to be honest.
Cool. And Elliot, who are you? Who are you playing? And what do they think about Seattle so far?
Hi, I am Elliot Freeman, he, him. I am a writer for Scion. As a matter of fact, like my latest sins with God are now out for people to contemplate with the backer kit.
Just that is a fucking again. Great title for a book that I need to use.
It's against gods.
or maybe you should. It's your turn of phrase.
Oh, but I'm also a writer and developer for Exalted. I am playing Beauregard BP Prescott, a Scion of Gaia, and he is withholding judgment about Seattle because I don't think we've actually gotten a chance to eat yet. And he strikes me as a wait till you've had at least 3 meals in a place kind of guy.
That is actually a sound judgment strategy. I give most things like 3 episodes to catch me, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Coda Seals of Rachel Ray.
Yeah. You've probably had breakfast.
Was it like breakfast, or like continental breakfast?
I mean,
I think it's hotel breakfast.
He's not going to hold Fruit Loops against Seattle.
I have your old deeds, but I think some of you have either updated deeds or I misheard them and wrote them down as deal with a goat instead of a deal with a ghost, which drastically changes some details. So what deeds do characters have right now? I'm going to call on Michaela because Michaela seems marginally more composed than the rest of you.
Yeah, mine didn't change, so the Nemean goat is not part of my stuff. I have a short deed. It's to learn more about the Bogovi, the pantheon Elena belongs to. My long deed is accomplish something personal through Scion powers. And well, I'll just read the band deed so we can spare the others that figure out why each of us got their visitation, or at least make a plausible hypothesis.
Awesome. Thank you. What's Damien's deeds that are in fact not about goats?
Yes, my 100% not farm animal based deeds are as follows. My short deed is deal with a ghost. Now I'm saying
Now I have it on fucking camera.
deal with a ghost. I will come up with something more pithy later. Maybe, probably not. My long-term deed is what does it mean to be a Scion? And we know what the bandit is.
And what are BP's goals?
So BP's short-term goal is to get a chance to stunt on someone with his new Titan Scion powers, possibly accidentally, just given him and Titanhood. And then his long-term deed is to come to some kind of like first moment of figuring out what it means to be Titanic.
It has been 4 weeks since we've played, 3 or 4 weeks. For the audience, it'll just be last Wednesday, but it's been a little bit since we've done things on this side of the screen. So would anyone like to take a stab at what the fuck we're doing?
Last time on the Scion Showcase, I remember we hacked the police to get information about a riot that they were going to try and fuck with, or like a protest rather, not a riot, that would cause a riot so that they could do stuff. And we talked about what's his face, the victim, I forget his name, who was a big part of the Seattle activist crowd. That's about all I've got.
Yeah, Akira is the
Akira.
The murder victim that traveled to Seattle to learn what the hell happened. So Akira Tempest, I think you have either definitely determined that he was a Scion, or you are like 90% sure. Since I don't remember how certain you got on that, and
all I know is that there was information we got about a cop who definitely doesn't like Scions being at the protest, and I think I had just put 2 and 2 together and assumed that Kida is a Scion. I don't think it was ever actually said.
Yeah, and we also heard stories about feats of what's likely epic stamina from him or something like that.
Yeah.
So we suspected that, but we weren't 100% sure, but we were willing to bet on that. And yeah, Karen, a friend of ours, let's call her that,
Friend.
was like most likely framed for Akira's death by the cops in question. And so that was part of what we did. We discovered that where there's this police conspiracy to cause trouble, or rather invite trouble to have the excuse to suppress the population of the neighborhood and take out any Scion that might show up in there.
Nice. Yeah. Last time, I think the time before, you interviewed Karen to find out what she knew, which in typical Karen fashion isn't a ton, but talking to her reveals information that she didn't know that she knew, because she's fairly observant but very self-obsessed. So she knows things, but she's not going to reveal them because she doesn't fucking anything that doesn't interest her is something that you have to drag out of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
You also talked to Chance,
My friend, yes.
Yeah, and Chance is happy to have her paints, but probably happier to know that Thorns isn't dead in New York, and also that Thorns has returned from New York, even if it's...
One might even say Thorns has escaped from New York.
I thought you'd be taller.
Da, 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 da,
Need to get
This is
We
the
get Kurt
only
Russell
reason
in
why
here.
I'm on this show.
No, no, no. No, now I'm humming John Carpenter themes here, and you just got in my mind.
Yeah. Along with Chance, you also met Radar, who is one of the people in Chance's art collective. And it's important that I mention this because actually, sorry, no. You only talked to Radar. Radar is not one of the people that anyone got fate bound to. Damien wasn't fate bound to them. Damn it. Where did I write? Doesn't matter. I'm moving on. Damien is fate bound to Seattle's dark web. That is a strength 2 fate binding, which means that there's a little extra heft to it, but also it'll fall off at the end of the arc. So whenever the story gets to a new place, then you won't have to worry about it anymore, and I can do something else to you. Thorns got fate bound to Jorge, who could have very easily been like some other supernatural character, but no, Jorge just keeps showing up in convenient locations. Jorge was the man that Thorns got cops to leave alone and stop hassling while taking the light rail. And just kind of a cool guy who knows a decent amount and lives in Soto. Doesn't have a house or any other permanent place to live, but you've already talked about somewhat that there is that you hacked the SPD to learn that there's an anti-Scion racist cop who, along with other members of Seattle PD, plan to turn a protest on Tuesday into a riot and then crush the riot. And my notes have a lot of data. I honestly don't fucking remember what day it is. I think today.
It was Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
Okay. So if two of us are saying that it's Saturday, I'm just going to say that that is the fact. Which means that you have today and then the following 2 days to either prevent a riot or actually, you know what? Fuck it. There are a lot of things that you can do besides preventing a riot. Ideally, there will not be a riot, but
Lead said riot. We could do that.
yeah, that is also a fucking option. You talked to some folks within the Seattle protest community. I don't think I gave any of them names because that same information, the same information that you got from them, you also got from the activist slash artist community. So rather than having you deal with two sets of story guide characters who fill the same story niche, only one set got named. You've already visited Karen, and there are protesters outside, so you probably don't want to go there again, but you can if you want. Thorns probably doesn't want to go back there because Thorns hit a cop in the face and with a crumpled up piece of paper, and I think rolled well enough to give the cop a paper cut or something. I don't remember.
Like Thorns.
I don't know. I just took the attention out of me with that.
Criminal assault.
Yeah, I think
it's the assault on a cop.
Yeah, I think the idea was, maybe the protesters will think that I'm a narc. Let's assault the cop real fast. All right, cool. I might have a warrant after me, but my street cred is intact. True Facts is a vlogger that Addie has been tracking down and who you can now meet with.
We need to check on Addie.
And I think those are all of your current leads, unless I just didn't write something down.
I think you're correct.
So yeah, looks like your main two leads are Seattle PD and True Facts. And because Addie has arranged a meeting, you can do either or both at the same time with a fair amount of efficiency, I guess.
Any preference, y'all?
I'm okay with meeting with True Facts since Addie's lead started before, so we can take care of that and then move to the Seattle PD if everyone agrees.
True. Yeah. I'm on board.
Cool.
Know as much as you can before you have to deal with the cops.
Yep.
And
also put some time between doing highly illegal things like hacking into police networks and having to actually interact with cops. Just put some time between those things. I am almost certain with how well I rolled. They don't know I did it, but just for Damien's peace of mind.
So I am going to arbitrarily say that you meet True Facts in Northgate, which I mean probably doesn't mean anything to any of you, but and probably doesn't mean anything to anyone who's watching it, but it helps establish things for me.
There is definitely approximately 3.2 people watching right now that's like, yo, that's my hood, I'm from there.
Yeah. As you could easily guess, Northgate is on the north end of Seattle.
Makes sense.
Groundbreaking.
Listen, that is not always how that works. There's a street by me called Northern Boulevard, not because it's in the northern part of Queens, but because it goes north-south.
All right.
That's still kind of
I didn't
sweet.
name these things.
So yeah, we go meet up with True Facts.
Yeah. As you go up to the cafe, because everything interesting in urban fantasy happens in cafes or bars, just like everything interesting in pre-modern games happens in taverns. It's how it works.
Gathering places.
Yeah. And it's even more true in Seattle because fucking you cannot go more than a block without a cafe. In downtown, you cannot go more than, I don't know, probably you can never go anywhere in downtown Seattle without at least one cafe in line of sight.
Whoa.
At least one.
Makes sense.
Look, there are fucking strip malls in Seattle with a Starbucks on each end. Not even fucking joking.
There are two Starbucks in the mall across the street from me, because there's a standalone one on one floor, and then the Target has one in their thing, because I think all Targets have one. So, yeah.
I tempted to ask what the Starbucks mermaid means in the word or in the same setting, but I'll leave that there for a moment now.
Yeah. The world's version of Starbucks probably didn't shy away from the more mythologically inspired imagery, just probably leaned way more into that. But because True Facts is an independent journalist, just put quotes around every word of that. And it's Seattle. You are not meeting in a Starbucks. You are meeting in some theoretically 100% independent coffee shop that is a mom and pop's thing, but if you dig down far enough into financial records, it's probably technically owned by Starbucks also. Because that's also a fucking thing.
I didn't know that.
There are a lot of mom and pop coffee chains that even if their business model hasn't changed much since they were acquired, they're still feeding into Starbucks, and the benefit that Starbucks gets out of it is that they get all kinds of interesting customer data, and they can test weird shit just by going, well, what are these artsy folks who are anti-capitalists enjoy? Okay, well.
Side note that is tangentially related both to my character's interest and to that statement. That's also how corporate funeral homes work. They'll like buy your local mom and pop name and sons, won't change the name, won't change anything inside of it, but they're now owned by one of 3 mega corporations. Just weird things David Castro knows.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You go inside, and somewhere in the back of your mind, you remember that like you were like Addie was supposed to either come out to get you or meet afterwards, but like she's already there, and it looks like she's probably been there since before she got a hold of you, based on like the amount of cups and saucers like kind of constellated around her. Not that Addie needs more energy, but she's fucking got it. And sitting across from her is Filipino. You're not quite sure. Very, very much ambiguous gender. Like if there is a gender dial, if that is a thing that could possibly exist, the dial here has been removed.
Amazing.
So very tan, very fit, very, very Filipino. And neither of the two seem to notice you as you come in. And if you sit down before saying anything, they still don't fucking they still don't seem to notice you. They are talking about streaming metrics that you feel like are probably made up, but I mean, and not in the sense that everything is made up, but like they are almost talking another language.
I mean, I have 3 dots in technology. Do these things make any sense to me at all?
Sure. Roll it.
I don't know why I didn't expect that answer, but here we are.
It's probably going to be straight up intellect.
Intellect and technology, or just intellect?
And technology, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Difficulty 2 with 1 complication. I know it's a challenging number.
No, I'm thinking of my specialties here.
Mhm.
Nope, none of them work here. Okay. Unless I'm almost certain I can't finagle omniglot translation to work here. You did say it was almost a different language. I have 2 successes, but I don't have anything to buy off the complication.
Okay. Then what you get is actually pretty close to what I was just going to say, but this makes it more interesting and official. Everything that they're saying is a word and is related to how you can measure viewership and parts of statistics involved, but like it's so specialized that you are only getting the gist of it.
Super niche. Okay.
Yeah, like it's
Understood.
you have a solid idea of that they are talking about different things that they can target in terms of like content and advertising in order to draw in more viewers who will stay tuned to it for longer. But the exact methods that they're describing, you have no idea if they'll work or not. They seem convinced that they will. You don't know enough to say whether or not they're bullshit. Given that both of them seem pretty successful, you're inclined to think, yeah, they're probably right, but you don't have the context to be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's like, wait, that's how that works? Really? So like there's this mild amount of doubt in the back of your mind, but you're not sure if that doubt is because they're right or that you don't know what the hell they're talking about.
I'm having the whatever the reverse of the tuning Ruger effect is. I don't have enough information to make heads or tails of anything that they're saying. So I'm just like, sure. Do we sit? I know Damien would definitely just sit down at their table. I don't know about the rest of y'all.
BP has been through this enough that he 100% sits down literally right next to her and takes out his phone and texts her, "We're here," and then ... right on your right.
You should definitely send her the GIF from Captain America. On your right.
I take a selfie and send it to her.
I'll just sit there and look at, I don't know, what's at the environment. Basically, I'm waiting because I'm not gonna deal with that personally.
All right. Yeah. Addie just sort of like notices her screen light up, tilts it slightly, flicks her fingers across it, and you get a response back. Cool, thanks. And like the conversation seems like it's starting to peter down, and you get a notification that you've been tagged in a photo, and it's a selfie of Addie from a different angle with you in it, and you don't actually know how the fuck she did that. Like looking at the photo and then at where the camera has to be, you see one of her other cameras and you're like, what?
She has drone cameras all around the room that she just releases as she comes into every room. How Shadowrun of us.
She's an Instagrammer. She's she takes this shit serious. And after done talking about the techie business side of Instagram, they finally like pay attention. These are my friends. This is BP. It's Damien's, Thorns. And do you know Thorns? I don't know. No. I think I know of Thorns, but not directly.
That doesn't sit well with me to be started.
Well, why? I know most people in the city, or at least I know of most people in the area.
Okay, I guess I feel that not being noticed by people I don't like being noticed from. So that's something I need to delve on.
Out of character, so that you don't have to sink a whole lot of resources into it. They were aware of you before your visitation, so your knacks didn't prevent it.
No, I don't have knacks to prevent that. I'm saying that in character.
Oh, okay.
I don't have knacks that make harder for people to notice me. So that's not a factor. It's just that the idea that this person knows Thorns because of what Thorns does and the sort of stuff. They don't like the attention in this sense from a person like Trufax.
Okay.
I'm not contesting them knowing or the visitation. Actually, Thorns doesn't know, but Michele does that. Once legend enters the picture, you start being noticed more and more. So that's.
Yeah, I just try to make sure that I know at least a little bit about all of the players, even if the players are they don't want to be noticed. It lets me select my footage carefully so that I can be sure to exclude you. Like you see him like click something, and does anyone have headphones or anything in? No, I mean like in character. Sorry.
Oh,
No.
Then all of the phones on the table reboot.
Even my birthright phone.
Probably not actually. I don't remember how many dots that thing is. And thank you for bringing that up.
2 dots.
No. It does not reboot.
I am glad I wrote down how many dots everything was.
So
I'm curious about how you just did that.
Everyone's as almost everyone's phone is rebooting. I'll be brief. I wanted to make sure that you knew that I knew that. Never mind. Your escapade last year at the pier. The reason that Seattle PD didn't know of your involvement was because my footage deliberately didn't have you in it. That's one of the reasons why me knowing who you are, at least in general, is not a bad thing.
Does he notice my phone doesn't do the thing? Because if he does, this would be a great time to use my grand entrance snack. When I make a first impression roll, your knack skill on a success, the target remembers you favorably, granting you +1 enhancement to all social rolls made towards them until the end of the session.
I'll also ask, since we're both thinking so little, true facts, they are which tier of character they are? Because
tier one, tier 1, just like you.
Okay, so okay, because they have that knack that if someone is out tier lower than me, they can't lie to me if we are investigating stuff. So it was for that.
Gotcha.
It's the lie detector from Heroic Judge. Well, it also has stuff that I think it's for lower tier people. You should tell me if they're lying to me, but you don't have to. If they are not involved in the case and they are lower tier, you can ping me and say this is a lie, but you don't know the truth and that sort of things. But if they're tier 1, that doesn't apply. So they're special too. We're discovering that thing in metagame out of
the
things.
way that it's written is ambiguous.
A little bit, yeah. The way I see it, the first part applies if they're involved in a case, and the second part, because they can't lie, and the second part where people can lie if they are just lower tier and not involved in something I'm pursuing, because otherwise they things contradict each other, so that wouldn't work at all. Because if they can't lie to me, why you should notify any lie? So I think that that's the first half is they're directly involved in something we are investigating, as in this
Yeah.
case.
So yeah, I'm gonna say that the part that starts with the story guide should also notify you when a lie has been told is separate from the +2 complication to lie to you for lower tier. And that does not go off. That does not go off.
Okay.
It seems like they're telling the truth.
Okay. Just checking before you keep on talking so that you can take that in account.
Before you speak more lies.
Because I have that one and takes one to know one, so I make lying really complicated. So by all means, proceed.
That's amusing.
Okay.
I also have the thing where I can sense magic if there's magic around. So is there magic around? I should ask, I guess.
What next that?
For the magic thing?
Yeah.
That's presence of magic. It is a sage knack. I will pull up the text in a second when my PDF reader sucks less. Because it has to load each individual page. It's annoying. Yep, I did that there too. I always know when they're you always know when you are near a object or place of true magic or sacred power. How this manifests is up to you. Ask the story guide if an object is magical or sacred, and they must tell you honestly yes or no. This bypasses the need to make any kind of occult roll to identify a place or object of magical or sacred power. I don't know why they separate out magical and sacred, but whatever. It's Scion. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah. Yes, you're not sure what the item in his hand, or sorry, in their hand is, but it's some kind of magic.
Oh, and do I get to make my grand entrance roll? For first impressions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. I'm going to assume this is presence and either leadership or integrity, maybe empathy. I don't know why I'm saying and or, because they're all the same number of dots, but
well, so for the sake of selecting whatever specialty you might have that's relevant, I think integrity plus presence is probably going to be the it.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything for this, but I need to up my presence. How do I only have 3 dots in presence? Oh, that's why I have 5 dots in manipulation. That's why. No botches, but no successes.
Just fail.
That's a first.
Well, add another momentum to it. So
really, I thought that was just for a botch, not just no successes.
Botches are 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Normal fails are 1.
In that case, I guess that Torrance will just take what Truefax says and let them proceed with whatever they wanted to tell us. And they are not going to thank them to not telling their identity to the cops at this stage. They are more on the defensive side of things and have no reason to trust Truefax so far, even if they claim to have spared Tor's trouble.
So Addison tells me that you're looking into Tempest's death and, well, murder. I know that annoying white woman from out of town didn't do it, but I'm not really able to this is something of a sticky situation for me because my reputation is also on the line here. I got a tip from a source, and I get lots of tips from lots of sources, and it's usually my job to figure out who's actually providing the information, even if that person is just a patsy, if you understand. There are people playing a game in Seattle, especially with regard to information, and this is probably true everywhere, but just because one source is not a cop doesn't necessarily mean that the information that they're giving me isn't ultimately from a cop or from someone allied to their interests, let's say. And I was there at the murder. I watched half of the fight. I am fairly certain that I was put there to document that it was Miss Jameson and to make sure that she went into jail. But I know there's another half of the story, and I know that the police are responsible for it, even though my source is not a cop. I don't want you to harass my source because it's not their fault. They've been used, and through them, I've been used. I just have enough of an understanding of what's going on to know that I know I got set up. I'm not sure if Karen, that's her first name. I'm not sure if Karen. Wait, really? Karen?
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Fate.
Gonna leave that. I don't know if she was set up. I know that I was. And it's not clear to me if Akito was set up. I suspect that he was. Basically, it's almost certainly not a conspiracy. It's almost certainly a very simple plan to either ruin someone's life, kill I hate calling him a leader of the movement, but he led people and was part of the movement. Or to ruin the life of an out-of-town Scion, or all of it. It's probably not a particularly. I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it's one person being shitty. And I don't know who they are, other than they are either a cop or they work with cops.
Oh, they're a cop.
Listen, okay. As much as I would like to, pardon the expression, let this white person hang for this, it strains me to my core to be in defense of her, as you noted, actual Karen. But I would think your reputation would be harmed more if it was found out that you didn't turn against whatever cop aligned force is trying to use you.
Yeah, it's
That sounds like that would be worse. And boy, howdy, it would be terrible if that somehow got out. Linking very poignantly in this moment.
Are you trying to accomplish something specific with that, or are you just letting them know that you know?
While I was saying that, I was like, is this a direct intimidation thing? I'm thinking it is, but I was rolling that in my head while I was saying it. Yeah, that sounds like a intimidation. Hey, I will just straight out make it known that if you don't sort of at least somehow buck against the police forces that are using you currently, I'll make it known that you aren't bucking against the police forces that are using you currently. Which I should probably roll for.
Yeah.
That sounds like manipulation and persuasion to me.
Yeah.
Which is good because I have lots of dice in that. Both of those things. Let me get all these other dice out of here.
You're looking for 3.
Well, I got exactly 3, and that doesn't count the 1 enhancement for perfect poise. So 4.
All right.
We count 8s, right?
What's that?
We count 8s, right? It's 8, 9, 10. Okay, just making sure. Yeah, that's 4.
Yeah, I understand your position, and yeah. I mean, I don't like being used by, well, anyone, which is why I've been sitting on this footage. And I mean, I'm not thrilled about this, but it's far preferable than the alternative. So I'll help however I can. What?
I may be many things. A cop is not one of them.
Oh no, I understood that very, very quickly. So I guess I'll explain what I saw and what happened from my perspective, and then you can ask me if I left anything out, I guess.
I'm sorry. Just point of clarification. There is actual footage, though.
Yeah, they
Okay.
Yeah, they recorded half of the fight, but they were deliberately directed to stand someplace that made it basically impossible for them to capture all of
The
it.
end of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
My source had me about 2 blocks away from the fight in Belltown, but from that angle, I could only shoot about half of it, and that's even after I realized that I needed to get closer. So whoever picked the spot was deliberate, like this, not a spur of the moment thing. Given who Akira is and who Karen seems to be, it wouldn't take a whole lot to make them mad at each other. Even so, they got mad really fast. in my experience, and I'm getting the inclination your experience as well. When strange things happen, it's probably not just a coincidence. And they went out of the line of sight. I heard, well, Karen pushed him. Akira pushed back, and then they were both struggling for some amount of time out of my line of sight. And the next time I got a view of Akira, he was bleeding from a sword wound.
Did you see the sword?
I didn't see it afterwards. I didn't see.
This might
Karen
be a
seemed like she
strange
had it.
question.
Karen seemed like she had one on her back, but no one else seemed to notice it. I don't know if that's also a godly thing. It probably is. I've never seen it before, but that would be convenient.
This might be a strange question, but what was the weather like that day? Did you hear any strong bouts of wind, howling wind, or anything like that?
It's a fucking fascinating question.
This is part of what the sword can do. We've come across her with it before. As mentioned before, there is no love lost between us and her.
The weather, I mean, the wind picked up and roared for a bit and then just sort of stopped. So, and it stopped before Akira kind of stumbled back and fell down. So if storms are connected to her, then just a guess that fits the evidence that I have. I think she got knocked out before Akira got stabbed. Again, I can't prove that, but that would match up with what I have.
Did your footage extend for the entirety of the fight, even the parts that you couldn't see yourself?
Yes.
I would like to get that footage if at all possible.
That is going to take an amount of convincing.
Do I get any enhancements for the intimidation I've already done?
Would that be an attitude?
Most likely.
Inclined to call that an atmosphere, so that it's going to have a very similar effect, but just not permanent.
So what do
yeah,
I have to do?
So the gist is that they understand that their footage was socially engineered in a way that would fuck up their rep, because it supports the idea that Karen murdered Akira, even though they know that's not true. So they don't want the footage out of their control, because if it's out of their control, that consequence that they would be part of a lie to fuck over another Scion is in play.
Do they tell us that's why? Because I have an answer for that. If they would
let's say yes. Let's say yes. either they directly say that or you understand enough to go,
Okay. I don't need a copy of the footage. I just need to see it. So if they show it to me and it never leaves their custody,
then
that's fine.
Then yes. Here.
Yeah, I don't need a copy. I just need to see it. Okay. I go over to them and watch the video with headphones in because we're in a public place and I don't want to. And we live in a society. I hate people play audio in public without headphones. The Senate gets mad.
Yeah, it's it seems to go down basically like they were saying that Karen and Kira got into an argument, and that argument, like, you can almost actually no, not almost. You can pick like the exact timestamp when both of them go from "look at this fucker" to "fuck you." Like, it is a distinct moment in time and seems actually kind of disproportional. So you don't know that.
Can I hear the wind pick up?
At that point, yes, not before. So everyone was already fairly certain that, or at least suspected, that there was a third party involved on the scene, and that's not confirmation, but it is strong evidence that somebody influenced both of their moods, and yeah, they shoved a little bit, and then there was shouting and the sounds of punches and kicks that connected, and the wind that you associate from her sword just abruptly stops. And then several seconds after that, you hear a stab, and like, I'm kind of abstracting audio enhancements that you would have to do, just because I don't think that rolling them is terribly interesting. And especially not when you have like 3 tech wizards sitting right fucking there. So like, between all of you, you figure it out and you get it to work. And
in my mind, it works exactly like how, like on episodes of CSI, where they'll just blow up an image and then it'll just get clearer as it blows up. Just not how that works at all, but it works for them because they're magical cops. Not unlike us, we can just do this weird stuff. Okay. That doesn't sound right. The wind would be going throughout the fight. It wouldn't just stop. And then the stab would happen. That doesn't make any sense. Anyone get the feeling that there's another like trickster-y thing going on here? This has the vibes of that last thing we just fucked with.
Does feel awfully similar with Short's whole deal, but
yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't think there's shapeshifter here. More like something like, yeah, and I don't think that's that sort, but I could be wrong. I think that they put Akira and Karen in a situation and then announced their attitudes to provide cover for Akira's murder. That's more like what I get here.
A patsy, a cat's paw.
We know that the cops are planning like a kettle for Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is is that something that we think TrueFacts would be interested in knowing and or disseminating?
Could be a good
Definitely.
idea to tell them, because if the clue of something that helps aggressivity is very, really, really dangerous in a context where cops want to cause a riot and then attack the people. So I think that telling to TrueFacts that that's the plan cops have, or that cops plan to cause a riot intentionally, could help to slow down their plans, or at least add some complication to their roles.
Yeah. So do you tell them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lay out all the information we have about it. Would it be too much to claim I have stuff on like a flash drive that I just give them?
No, that's fine.
Yeah. So I just hand over a flash drive and be like, listen, SPD is doing some shit, and not unlike you said, it's too coincidental to not be related.
Just love making a pretext.
Well, that makes sense. Take out the only, I would say, known Scion in the movement, except I don't know that many people knew that Akira was a Scion.
I have a question
Yes.
for you.
Oh.
It's a two-part. Oh, in character. Sorry. This is a two-part question. First off, how do you know that Akira was a Scion, and do you know who he was a Scion of? My God, you can't just ask who you're a Scion of.
I knew that Akira was a Scion for probably the same reason that you're coming to me, and the same way that I can tell that, well, none of you are what you or the government think, what you present yourselves to be to most people, or what the government thinks that you are. Although I think after Boston, maybe some police organizations have an inkling. I don't know that my divine parent, Pandukis, I don't know that he's necessarily thrilled with how I'm using my abilities, but he gave them to me. He doesn't get to control them anymore. Theoretically, I'm supposed to be dealing with the dead, but that's not my scene. I want to know. I want to know things, and I want to make sure that the right people know the right things.
I have no idea what that's like. As a death Scion who likes knowing things. That answers neither of the questions I asked.
It answers one of the questions. It's not knowing facts and secrets about people is not something that I'm supposed to be able to do through my divine abilities, but I do it anyways because information is power. And if I'm going to be a part of this larger sphere of the world, then I need information. To answer your other question, Akito is a scion of Indra, the Deva, which does kind of mean that his last name, Tempest, is a little on the nose, but everything about him was kind of on the nose, so it's not surprising.
Interesting.
To save you time. To save you time, Indra is the Storm King. Oh, okay. You're already there.
I'm already doing that. They say as if there aren't, interpretations of all these gods. So I don't know why I'm actually looking up anything. Interesting. Okay. How much do we want to bet? This is Damon speaking out loud. I'm thinking even odds. It's take out a Scion and I feel like this is all in character. Them like starting a thought and then switching the way the thought is going. Honestly, I don't think this is about the riot at all. I don't think they care. Whoever did this cares about the movement. They just wanted to get rid of a Scion, 2 Scions, and they had the perfect moment to do it. I don't know why, but I feel like fucking with the movement is happy side benefit more than it is a main goal.
Yeah.
There are easier ways to fuck with the movement than this.
There definitely are, although taking out Akira has gotten it's gotten a lot of people mad, but it's made some people feel vulnerable because having Akira was very useful in a lot of ways. When SPD's riot cops charge, he didn't generally go anywhere, just stood the line when they started macing and tear gassing. He's just took it, and that was symbolically very powerful to a lot of people. I think when or if people lose their anger over his murder, they're going to be a little less confrontational, a little less willing to risk themselves, since most of us are just mortals.
We also have something to consider here, that we know Akira was capable of feats of resistance well above the average human. and whoever engineered the conflict between him and Karen took him out with relative ease, bypassing whatever protection or resistance he had. So I'm starting to piece together that it's something. It's not an ordinary cop who has it against Scion, or at least if it's part of the equation, there's also something else that delivers the blows or empowers him in a sense.
We know that commonly when, how do I say this? I think I just said it outright. We know when fascist assholes hate something, quite often it's fueled by self-hatred. They hate a thing they are. So it's quite possible whatever this Scion hated cop is, they're a Scion themselves.
Yeah. It'd probably have to be.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not
I
sure.
say he, but I guess he could be of any gender, although statistically.
Statistically speaking, yes.
I'm not sure I am totally on board with that definition of fascists, but that the idea that it could be a Scion works in there.
Damien
Or
is
at
just
least
equating all cops to fascists. David apologizes. That's what Damien is doing.
I don't suppose, oh God, this is going to be privacy nightmare, but is there a way to tell if any Seattle police might be Scions themselves?
Well, if there's some way to tell,
Well,
it seems like this person is the one to do it.
other than us going around and just sniffing random cops.
I guess that with the way I think this whole thing we have going on goes, at least, well, I don't, my personal experiences is limited, but we all live in the world, so I don't think the escapades of a Scion cop went totally under the radar because of the nature of the job and more of the nature of divine blood. So I think with some digging, we can at least find someone who, at least at the beginning or something, or whatever after the visitation happened, they did something notable, if only by mistake, because it's clear they're laying low right now. But I don't think a fanatical Scion cop could keep that up all the time with perfect efficiency. So we could dig in a little bit, and I don't expect that to be exactly easy, but I think we can notice a pattern or something.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, you can narrow it down by beat a little bit. Like, whoever planned this assassination, they knew Belltown, and while it's possible that they knew Belltown without having been assigned there, it seems likely that they probably had the Belltown beat at some point. At the very least, they're probably working out of the Western Precinct. SPD has 1,000 cops, so this could take time, but you're
only 1,000.
Yeah. King County Sheriff's Department also has some overlapping coverage. So this is I just realized that my voice and True Facts voice are similar, because both fucking non-binary folks going with the lower register. So I had to clarify that this is me. Seattle PD's got about 1,000 officers, and then King County Sheriff's has some number of officers, or I guess deputies, that also work in Seattle. I don't know how much they cross over. Because King County is more than just Seattle, but it's mostly Seattle because Seattle's fucking large. But yes, there are far fewer cops in Seattle than in New York, because Seattle is a much smaller city. And yeah, like Seattle proper, excluding the rest of the metro area, I think is like, it's definitely under 1 million people. I want to say like 700K.
Okay.
But like the almost no one in Seattle considers Seattle to just be the city proper. Because like people don't generally say, oh, that's Bellevue or Redmond, and like think of them as being separate. They're generally just lumped into the east side, like it's just the east side of Seattle, even though the city limits stop like miles before there. But yeah, no, there's despite how omnipresent Seattle PD seems in Seattle, there's only about 1,000 cops that are specifically SPD.
Sure. Okay. Interesting.
So yeah, this sounds like moving to a procedural scene, and also an extended action, or I guess complex. Damn it, what is the official term here? I have system bleed in my head.
For what again?
Complex action. Okay, cool. Yeah, I as all of us well know, within Storypath, there are several terms for roll dice, take note, roll dice some more, take note, roll dice some more, and then you have enough milestones to get what you want, or you don't get enough milestones and something weirder happens. Complex action. Yeah, I could not in the moment remember if it was complex action or extended action, because extended actions are also a thing. Although I don't think they're a thing in Scion. No. Okay, cool. I want to say they're a thing in Trinity. I'm fairly certain that they're a thing in Mage. So many systems. Anyway, because this is an interesting tack that you're taking that I think is fruitful and will lead to interesting intrigue / procedural scenes, I am going to save that for the next game.
Okay.
Because I am not prepared to make that interesting.
Valid.
That's valid, absolutely.
Model the GM advice you want to see in the world.
Because like I could,
That's good GM advice, to be honest.
I could like wing it, but I think it would be far more interesting if I didn't, because you've figured out the basic thrust of the situation. There's a fucking racist cop who's racist against Scions and potentially other people, and they're probably a fucking Scion themselves, which means tracking them has its own complications potentially, and that complications might be uppercase or lowercase or both.
Man, the brown folk know how racism works. Weird.
Surprise. Okay, so I will save that complex action for our next game, but instead of just like immediately going into plugging things and moving on, is there anything else anyone would like to do in this scene?
I don't think so.
Get something to eat so that we may test out what the food is like in Seattle for BP's edification.
Yeah. So
anyone guys around here do any good seafood nachos?
God, I'm gonna have to make a recipe for that, and I don't want to.
Listen, in my head, I'm just imagining the textural joy of like shrimp firmness and melted cheese and tortilla chip, and I'm kind of into it.
It would have to be some sort of like bechamel sauce. Don't get me started.
We'll find some and get them to Mitch in game, who is very much missed at the moment.
Yeah. Elliot, high or low?
Ooh.
I hate this game.
Okay.
High.
Okay, so because you hate the game, I will round up. Oh, sorry, I will round favorably.
Oh,
Okay.
Do you want this cafe to be vegan or not?
Not.
All right. Then they have a bacon breakfast sandwich, and they do not have seafood nachos, although the barista gives you directions to the nearest place that probably has them. And
seafood nachos a thing in the world?
They are now.
line developer.
As to the food here at the cafe, it is just upscale enough and just hipster enough that this is like top 10% bacon related sandwiches that you've had. So like it's not the best ever, but like it's good.
Solid contender.
Like exactly the right amount of crispiness. None of that like thin slice bullshit. Like this is like a slice of bacon that is substantial. Like it's like they're whoever the butcher wasn't like trying to make a pound of pig stretch forever. He's like, no, this has a fucking purpose.
Mhm.
This bacon,
Ka-chunk.
she's thick.
A formidable chonk.
Yeah.
Mhm. I'm into it.
It's balanced by the rest of the flavors and ingredients within the sandwich. The bread was either made on site or was made by someone today in the nearby area. It looks like they have an oven here that could possibly make it, but you're not sure. You'd have to ask. And I don't know that anyone cares enough. Because why would you? Like I don't know that anyone cares enough about this cafe's backstory. I mean, if you care, I'll make it up. But
I'm taking a specialty in cafe lore.
Culture.
Definitely under culture, yes.
Mhm.
yeah.
We need 10,000 words of cafe lore in the next Scion book.
Oh my god.
Listen,
You know, BP just takes a look in the back through like the employees only door and sees a slender man just cutting bacon.
Denizens would work like that, for sure.
oh my god.
Gives him a thumbs up.
He responds
You're
with
like-
those fingers that keep going.
Yeah. Mhm.
Your like eyes start to bleed, it's fine.
Yeah. You Slender Man gives you thumbs up, and the thumb keeps
It
going
draws.
up, and like it draws your eyes up a little bit. And when you look back down, he's right here,
Mhm.
Mm,
and you're
don't
like,
but also
yeah,
love.
like, yeah, I probably should have expected that. You keep up the good work.
There's a kitchen full of cryptids.
Yep.
Okay, Denizens Path.
It is
Slenderman.
the like Pacific Northwest. That doesn't seem too off. There's definitely a like Bigfoot bartender on the weekends. That tracks at the Pacific Northwest to me.
Yeah. So yeah, you have tried one actual Seattle meal, and it's pretty solid.
Mhm.
Depending on
Seattle.
where you go for the rest of the requisite 3 meals for an opinion, you may or may not get more of the same. But
As long as the quotient of like spooks stays the same, I'm down for it.
Well, we are far from Mothman's usual place, but one could have traveled to Seattle for work, because why not?
You look in the kitchen at the next place and it's just a ghost and a goat.
A goat.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of goat-themed cryptid after all.
Oh fuck.
Like a ton of goats in the cryptid room.
He like racist cop hates goats, and he calls himself the Chupacabra.
Damn. I was starting to snicker because the combination of an eatery of some kind, goats and ghosts, brought me to a gelato place on 45th called the Fainting Goat. And if there's a ghost, it suddenly makes sense that the goat would faint. And
not just
I would not be
goats
surprised if there was a cryptid
general
working
heart
there.
problems.
Their gelato's good.
Well, no, I might raise you some Italian folklore about the devil and the farm animals that would technically work in Scion. So we'll save that.
Both Scion coming out
Will
2024.
Odd stuff happens when you have pagan tradition, and then Christianity happens for a few centuries. So
New book.
That sounds
the
like
world.
the history of Europe.
Sorry, making a note to myself. Ask Michaela about gelato-based folklore. It's an important note, and maybe we'll put it into a book.
I'm telling you, goat Scion, just Scion goat. 2024. I'm telling you.
Fucking
out on Kickstarter.
The
new fifth book.
So it's origin, hero, demigod, god, and goat. Yeah, the natural progression, of course.
Yeah.
Although you have to get through demigod first.
Yeah. It was about
Yeah, I'm glad that several of us went there.
Apotheosis?
Holy shit.
All
right. Before
there's a danger in this area that I advise to stay away from.
Yeah. Okay. So
Nope, I don't want to know. Nope, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's good.
Next session, we'll play the identity game with cops who might be Scions, and
Scions who may be cops.
Yes, also that. In the meantime, let's wrap this up and get folks to plug any cool stuff they have going out. And we'll start with Elliot. Who are you? Who have you been playing? And how can people throw money at you?
My name is Elliot Freeman. I was playing BP Beauregard Prescott. You can find me on Twitter at Elliot M. Freeman, where I post very infrequently. Or if you're on Discord, I'm usually somewhere lurking around either the Onyx Path Discord or the Exalted Fan Discord.
Awesome. Thanks. Michaela, who are you? Who have you been playing? And how can people find you and or throw money at you?
Hello everyone, I'm Michele Masola. I've been playing Elena Thorns Rappaccini. Well, I never publicize my Twitter, and how things are going there, we'll leave it there. So yeah, I'll say that you can find me on the Onyx Path Discord, where I'll appear to say silly stuff and make comments about cosmic creatures whenever those happen. And I think that by the time this will air, I think my editor friend and I will probably put they came from the North Pole on sale, because it's likely right before Christmas. I think maybe late November. Yeah. So you can check that and have fun with what's basically almost a brand new line from the game. From basically something you can apply to any core you have and enjoy a Christmas special.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to play it.
Me too, especially with films like Krampus and what's the new one that's coming out this year? There's something with David Harper where he plays a
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Yes.
Violent Night.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
that one.
I quote the movie of Krampus in the book itself as, of course, a static Krampus, because of course. and I'd love to run it for someone sometime, so we can arrange that eventually.
Sweet. Yeah. Would love to. David, who are you? Who you've been playing, and where can people find you and or throw money at you?
I am David Castro, they, them. I have been playing Damien De La Cruz. I forgot to say it at the front, but I am a developer and writer for Scion, developer for another line, but as we haven't signed the dotted line on that yet, you'll find out later. And a bunch of other games too. You can find me on Twitter at The Inked Knight, on Patreon at patreon.com/Inkstain Studios. And I also work for Nerdy Kepi, where you can go find cool queer stuff that we make. So find us at ithaspockets.gay.
I am perpetually amused at that domain name. Like,
me too, which is why I only direct people to that one.
It's so good. Like, yeah, no. I'm Hiromi Cota, they, them. I guess mainly just been playing True Facts today. Usually I play more people, but very important conversation to be had because y'all got a murder to solve. I write and develop and do cultural consulting for fucking everyone, I guess.
It seems like.
And I'm the line developer for Scion. That's the salient thing. That's the thing that's actually important to this conversation. I am the one steering this fucking
ship.
Ship is the word usually follows.
Yeah,
that.
I was like, is this a ship of Theseus? I don't. Maybe
all RPGs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess all RPGs are kind of ships of Theseus because they're constantly being reconstructed.
Especially games in their second or third editions.
Yep. And you can find me on Twitter or on the Onyx Path's official Discord. I am in basically all of the Scion channels. I read them with the kind of speed of conversations that have been going on with the Scion God campaign. I have been reading less because there's been more and my free time has not increased. So strange thing when you have multiple deadlines and there's a backer kit campaign. Free time doesn't increase. Turns out. Who knew?
There's a couple of characters that I really look forward to see you role play that I know are coming, Hiromi. It was fun through facts today, but there's stuff coming that I can't wait to see, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I had promised other stuff, and
no, we needed to
coming.
go over this, but I'm just saying that I enjoy your characters very much.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, that's been us. Catch us next week, probably. I don't know what this week is right now, so presumably you can catch us next week. At presumably the same time and channel.
Next episode at probably the same bat time and most likely the same bat channel.
Yeah, just hedge everywhere. It's great. And maybe we'll have Slenderman be canonically living in Seattle. Who fucking knows? I don't even know if like Slenderman has explicitly been released as a Creative Commons or public domain concept. If he has, then maybe I fucking will.
It is
In the
most
meantime,
likely Creative Commons and not public domain.
but in the meantime, people can get Saints and Monster and create their own Denizen Slenderman path.
Yeah,
It's
you right.
true. There are rules to support this exact thing. And with that, be safe. We're still in a pandemic. Fucking do what you need to be safe, which could include getting shots, masking, staying away from other people, moving to Mars. I don't know. You do what you need to be safe. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Later.